Well, hello, and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for the Friday, October the 21st. You can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. You can subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. As Dan and I did a pregame podcast ahead of the Buffalo Sabres Calgary Flames game yesterday. Dan from Fireside Chat joined me, and we discussed what was going right with the Flames. And then the Flames stumbled their way through the game against Buffalo and had their first loss of the year. But check that out. We did talk about some concerns. We did talk about some things that still need to happen. We talked about the Dan Vladar extension. We got into that a little bit. We talked about goaltending going forward and some other changes. Look at a little bit further ahead down the line here for the Calgary Flames. But that is what the where we're at there. But so check that out. And then of course Sean and Chris discussed the Canucks on Monday and what's going on there as they concluded the road trip. But we'll just recap the Flames game first against the A's Sabres yesterday. Just we'll start there and then we'll go back here as the Flames, of course, played the Sabres and not the best night because the big started Noah Hannafin, who has been struggling, has been sick all week, didn't play last night. And then it was Connor Mackey into the game. And we'll talk about Daryl's comments about Connor Mackey after the game as well, because I thought that was interesting. But basically, Mangiapane scored 4:21 in. The Flames get the first goal of the game from Kadri and Dubé. Again, the Kadri. Well, I think generally Kadri was the best forward last night for the Flames. Again, he's been the best forward for most of the year for the Flames so far. But the Sabres came back. Dylan Cousins quickly scored 2 minutes after. He got his first from Bryson and Vinny Hinostroza. Then Rasmus Dahlin set a record for most goals to start the season by an NHL defenseman in consecutive games. And I got his fourth. And I got to tell you, there was high expectations when Rasmus Dahlin was drafted. It took a while for him to get moving on that, where he was at for sure. But he has found his way and he is finding his groove and looked really good last night from JJ Patrica and Vinny Hinostroza. Hinostroza, by the way, 3 assists in the first period. Then Casey Middlestat, the Flames were caught flat-footed there. Casey Middlestat beats Mackenzie Weegar to the puck, gets in all alone, scores his first. Vinny Hinostroza, 3 assists. Quiet 3-assist night considering all of the other things that were going on. It was 3-1. Markstrom was pulled for Dan Vladar in the second period. Was it Markstrom's best night? Was it Flames' defense best night? Wasn't good overall. Not a good start for the second consecutive game for the Flames. So that's something I think a little bit of a red flag there. But then the Sabres score 46 seconds in to the second. On Dan Vladar's first shot, he sees Alex Tuck scores. Then the Sabres get a power play. Tage Thompson rifles one. Looks like it's a goal. They review it. It hit the crossbar. Tage Thompson had a great game. That's another one that is becoming a star. A lot of people thought he was a breakout star last year. He's taken another step this year. He, not only offensively, but defensively, he played really well. There was an opportunity that the Flames had to get themselves kind of back into the game, and he made a couple of key defensive plays. So did Owen Power, by the way. And then officially 3 seconds left in the second, the puck goes off the ref's skate and lands to Huberdeau. He sets up Trevor Lewis's first, and it's 4-2 after 2. Then Nikita Zadorov scores 109 into the third. The Flames are back into it. It's 4-3. And then Nazem Kadri has an unbelievable opportunity that he just couldn't wrap up. and to tie it. That doesn't happen. Nikita Zadorov takes a penalty, and Alex Tuch ends up scoring on the power play, and that wrapped the game up for the Sabres. He gets his second of the game, fourth of the year from Thompson and Middlestat. Middlestat had 2 points. Alex Tuch gets the empty net from Asplin and Dahlin, and the Sabres are full marks for the Buffalo Sabres to defeat the Calgary Flames 6-3. Going through there, here's shots on goal 43-32 favoring the Flames. Eric Comrie makes 40 saves on the night. Here 29-11, Calgary out hit them. The Sabres had won the faceoff circle 32-25. Sabres 1 for 5 in the power play. Calgary over 1. So that's it. The Buffalo goes through Alberta, 2 of the considered better teams in the league, and win. So if you're the Buffalo Sabres fan, look, this team, 12 first-round picks, young team. I still think there's a long way to go, but what I saw is a team going in the absolute right direction so far. And it's tough because the Buffalo Sabres have shown this promise before and have faded away. So we'll have to see. But there's some encouraging signs if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan. For the Flames, basically, Noah Hannafin's out. What Daryl Sutter said about Connor Mackey was interesting last night. Ryan Pike asked him about Connor Mackey. Sutter about Connor Mackey. Basically, this is what he said. He said, you got to get these opportunities. You got to take advantage of it. And he also pointed out he is older than Hannafin and Anderson. And I think a lot of people forget that. So Connor played 28 seconds in the third period. And Dan and I had this discussion last night. I still think the Flames need to I know the Flames will need another forward, but the Flames do need to find a way to build that defense if they are going to go where they want to go. I'm a believer that you need 8 defensemen. I think Connor Mackey needs another season in Abbotsford. I mixed that up. He needs another season in the American Hockey League. I don't think it's a benefit for him to be the 7th defenseman. But they are going to have to build that up. Even if they get Oliver Shillington back, I still would be looking at adding another defenseman. So Flames coming down with the loss. They're facing the Carolina Hurricanes, who did lose their first game. They were down 5. They were down to the Oilers here. They dug themselves a little bit of hole to the Oilers. Almost fought back, but it was 5-4. So the Hurricanes will be a little owly coming into Calgary. Some may say that this is also a Stanley Cup preview. We'll see about that far too early, but so Hurricanes and the Flames tomorrow. As for the Canucks, well, at least it wasn't a 2-goal lead this time. I guess that's the first part. And I thought overall, I thought not that they've had a terrible effort, but I thought overall it was probably the best that they looked since Edmonton. Like, if I wanted to be positive here, and I certainly want to be. Not off to a great start. They get Zuccarello scores from Hartman and Middleton, but Bo Horvat ties it at 7:58 with his 4th from Pearson and Besser, and I thought that line looked pretty good last night. Then Neil Zaman, first National Hockey League goal from Dakota Joshua, who had a solid game, and Quinn Hughes. Quietly, unfortunately, with the losing that the Canucks have, Quinn Hughes' 5 assists is going undaunted. But here's a couple places where you shoot yourself in the foot. Goal in the last minute of the first period. Sam Steele gets his second from Kaprizov. Sorry, he had a really good game, by the way. But Dakota Joshua gets his first from Ekman Larsson and Haman. You come into the third with the lead. It's 3-2. It's not a 2-goal lead, but you still have a lead. And then you take a penalty. Zuccarello scores in the power play from Kaprizov, and Addison ties the game. Then, to me, this is one of the key points. Jonas Brodin tackles a Canuck player, and there was no call earlier. He tackled another player along the boards, and I think the ref was watching Brodin, and he took the penalty. So the Canucks had a late power play, couldn't capitalize, so you end up in overtime, giving the Wild a point. and they need a point at least because they haven't won, and then you get your point. But then more puck issues in overtime, and ends up Kaprizov scores again from Zuccarello and Addison, and the Wild come away with the 4-3 win. They get, Fleury does not have a good game for the first half, strings it together in the second half. Kaprizov has 3 points, Zuccarello has 3 points, and Miller, Garland, Mikheyev don't have the best night. So your number one line for Minnesota looks really good. The number one line for the Canucks does not. And you don't take advantage of some opportunities to win the game, and the Wild take advantage of the opportunities to get back in and win, and that's ultimately the difference. I feel the Canucks effort is there. The execution is not. I think that's the easiest way to put that. There's so much to unpack. I don't think you come back home. You come back home 0-3-2. Your home openers against Buffalo. And by the way, again, for Canucks fans, the Buffalo Sabres are not your bingo card. This is not going to be an easy team. This is a team that skates. This is a team that works. So Vancouver's going to have to be ready. And they're going to have to, if they're sulking or pouting or and stuff, that's got to be wiped away, and you've got to get going here, just flat out. Here, as just looking at the standings here in the Pacific Division, which here, looking at where things are at. Vegas is 4-1. They come away impressively with a win last night against Winnipeg. Flames 3-1. Kings 3-3. Oilers 2-2. Seattle 1-2-2. Anaheim 1-3-1. Vancouver 0-3-2. So you've already at this point, and again early in the year, but you're already needing to climb over 5 teams are already ahead of you in terms of where you need to go. Right? So, which is the playoffs. So you don't want to put yourself in this hole. You need to get out of that hole as quickly as possible. So, and you've got a homestand coming up. You need to take advantage of it and turn things around. So that is what we at. By the way, just back to the Flames for a second. Congratulations to Milan Lucic. She played his 1100th game in the National Hockey League last night. Also, congratulations to Alex Goligoski. He played his 1000th game in the National Hockey League last night. So that's the Flames wrap up. That's the Canucks wrap up. We'll be back when we're back Monday. We'll wrap up the weekend about the Flames and the Canucks as they both play on Saturday on Hockey Night in Canada, late game. 3 games in the National Hockey League tonight, and some interesting matchups. It's not a boring night for sure here, as you've got the first time Tampa and Florida meet since they met in the playoffs last year. And first time that Matthew Tkachuk, who said, I hate Edmonton, I hate Tampa now even more for the Florida Panthers, so we're going to see the impact that he has on there. The Lightning stumbling out of the gate. They're 1-3. The Panthers really good out of the gate, 3-1, despite the blue line injuries there and stuff. So give Florida some credit there, but still a lot of people concerned about Florida. Anyway, but they're off to a good start. Vasilevsky getting the call in goal for the Lightning tonight. And Ian Cole, by the way, is back in the lineup for the Lightning tonight as well. I'll just leave that there. And you've got Bobrovsky in the lineup tonight. Eric Stahl, healthy scratch, but did sign a 1-year contract from his PTO for the Panthers today. The Red Wings have yet to lose in regulation. They're facing the Chicago Blackhawks. They're 2-0-1. The Red Wings will start Ville Husso tonight, and the Blackhawks will start Peter Mrazek. And the Seattle Kraken and Andre Burakovsky returns to Colorado to face the Avalanche. Philip Grubauer getting the goal. Kraken coming out 1-2-2. Avalanche 2-1-1. I think they're looking a little sleepy. This might be a wake-up game for the Colorado Avalanche here, as they will start Pavel Francouz tonight, and Devon Tays actually will be injured as well. So that's another significant loss for Colorado, who's fighting a little bit of an injury bug. They got Gabriel Landeskog out as well. So that's kind of the news from the games from today. A couple of other notes from the National Hockey League here. Congratulations with David Poile. His next time the Nashville Predators play is here tomorrow night. Will be Poile's 3,000th game as a general manager. Interesting here listening to the Jeff Merrick show. As Nashville, by the way, tomorrow will play the Philadelphia Flyers. Interesting to note that Poile, the least pursued David Poile at one point, according to Elliot Friedman, as a general manager at one point, and Poile turned that down, stayed in Nashville. So that is what is going on there. So congratulations to that. An interesting stat from David Quinn. David Quinn, of course, returned to New York to face the San Jose Sharks. Sharks win their first game of the year. They beat the Rangers 3-2 in overtime for his first win. His first win for the New York Rangers was also a 3-2 overtime win against the San Jose Sharks. So that's some weird, fun things going on there. So that covers the NHL portion. Let's have a look at the AHL here and see what's going on there. As we've got the Abbotsford Canucks in action tonight. They're playing in Coachella Valley. The Abbotsford Canucks playing tonight. They are right now, their early record is 1-1. They've only played 2 games in the Pacific Division. So we've got that game. We've got we also got tonight, we've got Hershey. Hershey is in action against the Charlotte Checkers. Cleveland and Utica is in action tonight. And Cleveland Monsters, Utica Comets. Springfield is playing in Belleville. And you've also got, it's a busy night in the AHL, by the way. We've got Bridgeport taking on Providence, Syracuse taking on Rochester, Laval taking on Wilkes-Barre Scranton. You've got the Manitoba Moose in action tonight, as well as they're facing Chicago and Texas. The Texas Stars are taking on the Iowa Wild, and tonight the Calgary Wranglers 0-2 in action tonight. So they're looking for their first win of the season. They are facing the Colorado Eagles tonight. And so that's the schedule for the AHL. And you also got Ontario taking on San Diego. So busy night in the AHL, busy night in the WHL as well. We've got the Saskatoon Blades in Calgary to take on the Hitmen. You've got the Prince Albert Raiders taking on the Edmonton Oil Kings. You got the Lethbridge Hurricanes hosting the Brandon Wheat Kings. You've got the Red Deer Rebels in action here against the Medicine Hat Tigers. You get the Victoria Royals and Kamloops to take on the Blazers. You got the Everett Silver Tapes taking on the Tri-City Americans, and the Prince George Cougars taking on the Vancouver Giants. So a busy night there. Quick to look at the WHL standings. Thunderbirds and Winterhawks, by the way, 7-0 to start the year in the Western Conference. Winnipeg Ice leading the way 9-1. Red Deer Rebels, by the way, 8-0. So 3 teams still haven't lost in the WHL. So still some interesting things there. And of course, follow WHL on Area 51. But that will cover the news for today. You can follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beardy, Canuck 03, Devin Gordhow 09, Krista Schneidz, SCHNEIDZ, Tyler TNOBLE. Follow Dan Stevenson, Matt DeBorg, and Fireside Chat for their Flames coverage. Follow WHL on Area 51 for WHL coverage. Gabe Newman does a weekly WHL show. Check that out as well. And you can follow me, K-E-V-O-L-E, Shifts and Pucks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. We thank you for watching. We thank you for listening. We will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.